Move over, Zell Miller. There's a duelist in town, a new one. Move over, Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel, too. And Dennis Weaver, for that matter. Our fourth story in the countdown, Senator Obama challenging his opponent to a duel. Obama holding an economic town hall in Springfield, Missouri this morning, using the city's history as a springboard to figuratively slap Senator McCain across the cheek with his glove.
I was just reading that Wild Bill Hickok, he had the first duel in the town square here in Springfield. And I don't know if people are aware of the fact that, now, I have not done all the full research on this, but the family legend is that Wild Bill Hickok, he's a distant cousin of mine. I'm serious. This is part of the family legend. I don't know if it's true, but that's the legend. So we're going to research that because I'm ready to duel John McCain on taxes right now, right here. I'm a quick draw.
My seconds will call on your seconds. Well, my seconds will be out. Have them call on my thirds. The McCain campaign response: if Barack Obama wants this so-called duel, then why did he and his entourage run for the hills when John McCain challenged him to 10 town halls? So now a town hall is a dueling ground?
Thank you. Senator Obama says he's going to change Washington, but his solution is to simply make government bigger and raise your taxes to pay for it. And I want to look you in the eye. I will not raise your taxes nor support a tax increase. I will not do it.
Unless he changes his mind. As we previously pointed out, that's a flop back from his flip on tax increases on ABC's This Week, where he told host George Stephanopoulos that when it comes to the possibility of payroll tax increases for Social Security, quote, there is nothing that's off the table. A position that has provoked a scathing response from the Rupert Murdoch-owned Murdoch Street Journal editorial board, which observed, quote, if Mr. McCain can't convince voters that he's better on taxes than is a Democrat who says matter-of-factly that he wants to raise taxes, the Republican is going to lose in a rout, end quote. Joined now by our own Richard Wolff, senior White House correspondent for Newsweek magazine. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening, Keith.
How damaging is it to Senator McCain when the Wall Street Journal, the newspaper of choice for business people and many conservatives, and for Rupert Murdoch, prints an editorial with words like rout and Republican in the same sentence?
Well, you know, Keith, we often talk about and have written about the identity problems facing Barack Obama. Is he American enough? Is he black enough? But the identity question around McCain seems to be much more problematic, and it's the identity of whether he's conservative enough. That's what the Wall Street Journal editorial board is going after here. Obviously, they were worried previously about him for all sorts of reasons on all sorts of subjects. But with regard to Social Security and taxes, his comments have just set the alarm bells going. And the strategic problem is that he keeps on having to talk to that group to prove his credentials, which stops him from breaking with President Bush and being the independent he used to be.
How did McCain wind up getting off message on taxes? I mean, this is the one thing his base always wants to hear. How could he mess it up to the degree that he has in the last week alone?
Well, he clearly had a couple of things in mind. First of all, he likes the Ronald Reagan model, and he was trying to evoke that spirit. But he was also clearly unprepared for what was an obvious question on a Sunday talk show. And the vagueness of his approach to policies, especially a complex emotional one like Social Security, is a recurrent theme on this campaign. And I think that kind of gets him into these problems where he can't find a way out.
Another one, perhaps, outside of Denver last night, according to the Washington Post, he held this fundraiser at which he earned $3.2 million. And he stood on the patio of the multimillionaire host's house, and he joked to the crowd, and the quote was, "These public projects are quite remarkable." In the days when that would never get repeated or might leak out 3 months later, perhaps that was a great joke for the environment and the people he was with. But in this instantaneous communication day, is he helping himself with a quip like that?
I think he is, in his own mind, trying to enjoy himself in some way. But his jokes have proved difficult for him. Of course, there was the deeply offensive joke about rape victims, the deeply distasteful joke about Janet Reno. And again, in another era, that kind of joke was maybe considered funny. It's not just about the speed of communications here. It's what you can get away with when you're no longer an insurgent and you're actually the presumptive nominee and possibly the president.
And a repeat of the is he helping himself question, only this one is about Obama. Why introduce the word duels into this equation, even in fun, even in the Springfield Wild Bill Hickok context, since it does raise, as a duel, a debate, a showdown, it raises the question, figurative duel, yes, actual town halls, not so much.
Yeah, not a smart move to evoke Zell Miller, not a smart move to really dodge town halls and then show you're all macho about it. I have to say the most worrying thing about this is the idea that he's related both to Dick Cheney and Wild Bill Hickok. Whose genes does he have when it comes to shooting? Let's not find out.
Richard Wolff of Newsweek and MSNBC setting out a possible meme for coverage in the years 2009 and 2010 at least. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Keith.